It's beautiful, isn't it? Looks like the galaxy. That's actually a shot of the internet. It's beautiful. I love the internet. It is humanity's greatest invention. More consequential than the printing press, more important than the entire Industrial Revolution. It has connected humanity, revolutionized business, education, even governments. From the sublime to the ridiculous, it has enabled us to shop without ever entering a store, to bank without ever entering a bank, and to receive healthcare without ever entering a doctor's office. And yes, waste untold hours playing Candy Crush. The internet is the amazing foundational technology that has enabled it all. But today, I'm deeply, deeply concerned about its darker elements. The internet that we know and love is at risk. It needs saving. The very same revolutionary technology that connected us all is now being exploited on a global level. Ransomware, hackers, phishing scams, just to name a few, are rampant. And they can ruin people's lives and their businesses. If you haven't been compromised by an online scam, I'm sure you've seen it in your inbox. It's projected that the costs of cybersecurity are going to top $10.5 trillion in 2025. That's next year. 10.5 trillion. That number's so big, it's hard to wrap your head around. But for frame of reference, that's 40 times the amount of money that it would take to end world hunger. Misinformation, conspiracy theories, disinformation pushed at us by foreign adversaries pits us against each other, undermines the trust that we have in our own democratically elected environments. And a lot of this is happening in plain sight on social media. Platforms like Facebook and many others monitor everything we do, right? Our relationships, our behaviors, our shopping, our locations, and then package it all up and auction it to the highest bidder. Many now call this surveillance capitalism. Surveillance capitalism. We're invading your privacy, manipulating your behavior, and amplifying all of our outrage. That is the business model. And it is having a material impact on our mental health, dramatically escalating self-harm rates, especially among young people. But none of us are immune. None of us are immune. As an adult, I've been attacked by the Twitter mob. And it is painful. I can't imagine. Can you imagine what that would feel like as a teenager? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The future of the internet is still being written. And we're the authors. This is a pivotal moment in the history of the internet. There are some incredible emerging new technologies, right? Blockchain, AI, quantum computing, alongside massive social and political upheaval. The internet of the next 20 years is going to look nothing like the internet of the past 20 years. So, what do we want it to look like? And I think there is a roadmap we can learn from. The Industrial Revolution was the last technologically transformative and wildly disruptive era in modern history. They had incredible innovations like the light bulb or the steam engine or the telephone, which changed the course of history for all of us. But it came at a cost, right? There was massive social upheaval, environmental damage, pollution across the landscape and the waterways. Monopolies of that time literally coined the phrase robber baron. Left unchecked, the Industrial Revolution could have been deeply damaging to us, to humanity. And now, in our time, the internet as we know it, the unregulated internet, it is time for us to reshape it for positive good. And I think, based on some of the lessons of history, there are 3 key elements, key areas where we can make a significant difference in a short amount of time. And they are implementation, regulation, and education. Let's start with number 1 first, implementation. The good news is, much of the technology that we need, we already have. It's in our hands. The domain name system, part of the industry that I work in, is one of the foundational layers of the internet. Much of the security and encryption technology that we need to protect our data when it's flowing across our networks and resident in our homes or businesses or data centers, that technology is available. And we do use it sometimes, in some places. We just need to implement it everywhere. 2-factor authentication. You probably all know it, dealing with your bank. You type in your password to get into your account, and they send you back a code to verify, and you have to enter that code in some other form. It's 2 factors of authentication. Very secure. Protect your profile, protect your account, protect your private information, protect your money. Banks never lose any money. 2-factor authentication. We just need to implement that everywhere that we log in. But reality is, it's usually us, the humans, that are the weak link here. We need to integrate cyber awareness, cyber security training, just like in a previous era, we implemented health and safety training in industry to protect workers. We need regular cyber awareness training for the people now to protect themselves and their organizations. Which brings me to number 2, regulation. And here I actually think the Industrial Revolution is particularly instructive. In that time, they had incredible challenges with pollution. Pollution across the landscape, into the waterways, into their drinking water. So what did they do? Well, first they innovated. They invented water filtration in that era. When that wasn't enough, they also implemented regulations to prohibit the dumping of raw sewage into the drinking water. And that taught a very important lesson during a period of incredible transformation. And that was that during that kind of a period, rules and regulations had to be an important part of the mix, an important part of the solution for all that was going on. And I think we can learn from that because they implemented rules to deal with the issues of their day, like pollution, but also child labor and monopolies of their era. For us, we have a different set of needs that we need to think about for rules and regulation. But they certainly would include cybersecurity, surveillance capitalism, and the monopolies of our era. So for cybersecurity, we need some baseline standards that apply to all organizations. And they can be simple things like reporting and transparency to the individuals or authorities impacted so they can do something about it. Meaningful penalties for repeat offenders or non-compliance. And for surveillance capitalism, we definitely need rules and regulations to protect us, our privacy, limit the self-harms, curb the misinformation and disinformation that's so corrosive. And third, monopolies. We really just need to enforce the rules and regulations that are already there that curb the worst behaviors, the worst monopolistic behaviors of big tech. We've done it before, days of old, with steel and oil, more recently with the telephone and software giants, and it works. We've curbed those behaviors to our benefit. Increased competition, increased innovation, public benefit. We've done it before. We can do it again. And that leads me to my third key area where we can make a significant difference for the future of the internet that we want. And that's education. We, all of us, we must be able to determine fact from fiction. We must be able to determine what is a reliable source of information and a clean network versus digital sewage. We must be able to tell the difference. And it starts with the youngest folks in our societies, in schools, school boards, K-12, internet and online education must be a key part of their learning from K-12, evolving along with the pace of internet evolution. Starting with basic skills for our youngest students on how to work the internet, and going up to advanced critical thinking for teenagers. I know that may sound like an oxymoron, but they can do it. I have faith, they can do it. They are our future, they can do it. But then there's us, right, the adults. We continue to need ongoing training. And again, just like health and safety became an ingrained part of the training regime to protect workers, cybersecurity awareness training really should be part of the modern training regime today to help protect our workers, ferret out online fraud or misinformation, to protect themselves and to protect their organizations. I love the internet. It's humanity's greatest invention. But it is at risk, and it does need our saving. And there are 3 areas where we can make a profound difference right now, and that's implementation, regulation, and education. For implementation, business leaders, tech leaders, I know you're out there, right? Protect your people, protect your organizations, protect your reputation. Because if you don't, it's not if something bad's going to happen, it is when. So devote the resources required. For regulation, citizens, that's us, right? Raise your voice. Ask your elected officials, what are you doing to protect us? And government folks, governments, what's job number 1? Protect your citizens. Protect them from foreign adversaries. Protect them from criminals. And now, more and more, protect them from surveillance capitalism and the monopolies of our time. And for education, parents, demand more. Your schools and school boards will listen. Demand more. And for students, young folks, this is and will be your internet. Raise the bar, demand it all, because the costs are too high and the risks are too great to just carry on. We have the tools in our hands. In our hands. We just need to act. So please, join me in this work. Let's act. Let's build the internet that we and future generations need and deserve. Thank you.